Most people don't realize that the future of personal development isn't going to be about mind work anymore. It's going to be about the nervous system, because your nervous system is actually the operating system of your identity. This is why people pleasers struggle with authenticity, because their nervous system learned that being themselves wasn't safe. Hi, I'm Christian Raphael, medical support clinical hypnotherapist, NIH research contributor, and instructor at the Hypnotherapy Academy of America with over 26 years of high-stakes corporate leadership experience. I'm also in my 13th year of full-time private practice. My mission is to guide women entrepreneurs to embody the identity that empowers them to serve at the highest level while living the lifestyle they choose, especially those navigating chronic illness or long-standing survival patterns. Because the deeper injustice I am here to correct is that too many powerful women are held back by identities shaped by survival, including the lasting effects of chronic illness, ongoing medical intervention, neglect, or abuse, instead of aligning with the identity they were meant to embody. Now, I was raised by a single mother who embodied courage, strength, and the tenacity to rise above the very survival identities that I now help women entrepreneurs transform. Here we talk about nervous system intelligence, subconscious identity, medical support, clinical hypnotherapy, and the future of who you are becoming. You can find me on all social platforms under my name, Christian Raphael. So if this resonates, tap and like the subscribe button for weekly episodes that help you expand in nervous system capacity, elevate your identity, and step into the next level with clarity and confidence. Take a slow breath now. That's right. Today's topic is identity, AI, authenticity, and the future of who you are becoming in 2026. Take a breath with me because we're going to be walking into a conversation most people are not ready for yet. But your nervous system is already recognizing something is shifting. Notice your body soften as you hear this. Identity in 2026 isn't going to be shaped by mindset. It's going to be shaped by capacity. What do I mean by capacity? I mean the ability of your nervous system to remain open, present, regulated, and available under pressure. Not how much you know, not how many books you read, not how many courses you take, but how much your nervous system can actually hold without collapsing into old patterns. Most people don't realize that the future of personal development isn't going to be about mind work anymore. It's going to be about the nervous system, because your nervous system is actually the operating system of your identity. When you are in fight, flight, freeze, or collapse mode, your identity literally regresses into an older version of you. So as we enter 2026, the question isn't, what do you think about yourself? The real question is, what identity does your nervous system return to under pressure? And that's the identity that's running your life. Now let's talk about identity. Identity AI, because there's a lot of noise around artificial intelligence replacing people. But that's not actually what I'm referring to here. Allow yourself to imagine this differently. Identity AI is what happens when the algorithms, platforms, and digital structures begin reinforcing certain identity behaviors through repetition, exposure, comparison, and feedback loops that shape a person's sense of self without them ever choosing it consciously. You see, every time you adapt your personality to stay safe, every time you shrink your truth because you don't want someone to judge you, every time you collapse into silence because it feels safer than being misunderstood, your nervous system is running an identity script that was installed years or decades ago. And this is where AI and identity meet, because AI learns patterns, and your nervous system also learns patterns. So what happens when the patterns your nervous system learned in childhood are now being mirrored and reinforced by the world around you without your awareness? Begin to recognize your own patterns. That's why authenticity matters more than ever right now, because authenticity isn't a personal, it's not a personality trait. Authenticity is your nervous system believing that it is safe to exist as yourself. Let me say that again. Authenticity is not who you think you are. Authenticity is how safe your body feels being who you are. Notice what your body is doing when you hear that message. So when you think about identity AI, I want you to understand that it is not about robots replacing humans. This is about nervous system intelligence rising to a level where you choose who you are instead of defaulting to who you used to be. That's right. You choose who you are instead of defaulting to who you used to be, because identity isn't something you think about. You don't think yourself into identity. Identity is something that emerges when your nervous system is capable of holding the truth of who you are. So when you hear people talking about authenticity on social media, let's just know that most of that conversation is happening at the personality level. But authenticity is actually a nervous system phenomenon. This is why people pleasers struggle with authenticity, because their nervous system learned that being themselves wasn't safe. This is why high-achieving women collapse under self-doubt even though they're brilliant, because their nervous system learned that being visible comes with danger, judgment, or abandonment. And this is why Identity 2026 is going to be a turning point, because identity transparency is increasing, meaning you are going to feel who people really are beyond their words, their labels, and their branding. Let this land in your body. That's it. Breathe. That means you are also going to be seen more clearly than ever before. And that can feel terrifying if your identity was shaped by survival. So what do you do with that? Begin to imagine your future identity leading. You build capacity instead of motivation. You develop nervous system intelligence. You cultivate inner safety. You make decisions from your future identity instead of your survival identity. Because identity transformation isn't about thinking. It's about nervous system safety. So as we look towards 2026, I want you to remember something. Identity is not mindset. Identity is your nervous system under pressure. If you're noticing your old self falling apart right now, you're actually right on schedule, because your nervous system is shedding identities that no longer belong to who you're becoming. Allow yourself to release the old version of you. Let's talk about 2026 specifically, shall we? Identity transparency means you will intuitively sense what is true in others. Identity mirroring means your relationships will reflect your internal identity shifts, not your past identity limitations. Identity coherence means your nervous system and your actions begin aligning as a single, unified signal. So this is not about thinking your way through the new year. This is about becoming the nervous system that can receive your future. Feel yourself stepping into this right now. If this is helping you, go ahead and click subscribe, and because your nervous system learns through repetition, and each episode builds one more layer of capacity. So before I wrap, I want to remind you that identity is not mindset. Identity is nervous system intelligence. Thank you for joining me today. If this opens something for you, like this video, subscribe to this channel, and share it with a woman who is navigating high-pressure transformation, chronic illness, or long-standing survival patterns, and needs clinical clarity. This is Raphael. Be kind, be well, be a blessing.